Hi everyone, today I want to talk about skin tones, and this, I don't mean to be a very extensive, super long video where I cover every single aspect of skin tones. No, I want this to be very accessible and very quick. So, I've got some swatches of skin tones here, which are mostly light skin tones, but there are a couple here which, if you want to paint dark skin tones, you have also the opportunity to do that. So basically, let's look at this color right here. So when I'm painting, usually it would be light skin tones, although sometimes I do also paint dark skin tones as well. When we're talking about light skin tones, here this little area is like the perfect skin tone for me. So I really like this color here. So to mix that, it did take me a while to mix a couple of colors here and there, and I would never be able to tell you exactly what I did, because it just takes that mixing time to get there. I do know that as a base color I use this opaque pink, light kind of pastel pink color, which is the shell pink, and then whichever other colors to neutralize it, a little bit of pink, a little bit of quinacridone gold, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then eventually with water I get to this color right here. So today I want to show you how to make mixing skin tones easy if you are new to it and if you're a beginner, because I suppose if you're not, you probably already know, but maybe you will see something that will add to your knowledge as well. So I'm going to lay these swatches over here. And for that, for what I'm showing you today, basically you will need a few opaque colors as a base color, and then a couple of the colors from this side, which are very bright, very intense, to get you to the right skin tone in only a few steps. The reason I have a few of the opaque colors over here is because I wanted to show you a wider range of skin tones that you can achieve. So let's start with, they aren't really in order, these colors, so I'm just maybe I'll put them like that. Okay, so I've got here Daniel Smith Buff Titanium, Schmincke Horadam Rutile Yellow, Naples Yellow by Daniel Smith again, and Yellow Ochre by Schmincke, Gold Brown by Schmincke, and Shell Pink by Holbein, Opera Pink and Quinacridone Magenta also by Daniel Smith. So I'm going to squeeze the colors out here. I'm going to give you a little swatch of each color so that you get an idea, and then I'm going to show you how to very quickly in a few steps get you to a skin tone without needing to spend so much time mixing the perfect color. Okay, so I didn't have that much battery left, so I didn't want to spend it on squeezing out these paints, so I have gone ahead and done it. Now remember one thing, water is your best friend when it comes to mixing skin tones. If you're looking for like a very opaque skin tone, you have to use opaque watercolors. If you're looking for a more translucent skin tone and also going lighter with it, then you have to use water. So for instance, like here we have a darker skin tone. You can still have it darker but translucent, and then you can have that hue but lighter. So that's how the water helps us. Now let's start by swatching these out. So Buff Titanium is a kind of grayish beige type of color. So you can see it's not really, it's kind of like a concrete color. So you wouldn't use it on its own to create skin tones necessarily. It's a little bit too cold. It's a little bit too zombie-like, unless that's the skin tone that you are going for. Next one is the Rutile Yellow. It's a very beautiful milky yellow, but again, too yellow on its own. Next one looks like probably the most realistic skin color out of a tube that you could use, but in actual fact, it does need a little bit of mixing as well, unless you're going for like a comic type of a look, like a manga skin tone or something like that. Next one, we have the yellow ochre. This is a very important color, very useful color when it comes to mixing skin tones, and you'll find out in a minute why. Next one is the gold brown. Now I wanted, like I said, I wanted to give a nice versatility or diversity to skin tones, and so this is why I picked this color, which I think for darker skin tones is a beautiful color because it's kind of got that beautiful glow to it. Then we have this milky pink, which is also, you know, on its own not that great of a color for skin because it's a bit too pink. This one you could actually use on its own, so these two you could do on its own. Opera pink, way too loud, way too bright, but wait till you start mixing it. And then Quinacridone magenta is also great for mixing darker skin tones. So these are the colors I want to introduce to you today, and you don't need to go and purchase all of them, but I just wanted to show you, in case you already have them in your collection, how you can utilize them. So let's have a look at Buff Titanium. So as you can see, it's a very, very light color. If I just mix it out like this, I mean, just swatch it out, it's not really, you know, a skin tone. So I'm going to bring my mixing palette over here, and I'm going to take a little bit of this Buff Titanium onto the side. Actually, maybe I should just move it so you can see what I'm doing. So here's the Buff Titanium. To it, I'm going to add water. Now, when I said opacity and transparency, so we've got opaque, 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 opaque-ish. This is sort of transparent, definitely opaque, and these two are on a transparent. So mostly I like to start with a with an opaque base color and then work with it to create a lovely skin tone. So if I'm going to go into it with a little bit of let's see, this is a Naples yellow, so I'm just bringing a little bit of Naples yellow into it, and actually it has warmed it up just ever so slightly to create a skin tone. Now if we wanted to make it a little bit stronger and a little bit more opaque, I'm going to use more pigment in that case and less water, and I'm going to add opera pink, just a little touch of it, because you can see it's already almost looking too pink, but when you swatch it out, it makes a decent skin tone. So I'm going to just continue mixing these colors, and you can look at it like that. So you can take a base color. I would recommend the Buff Titanium, the Naples Yellow, and Yellow Ochre, and the Shell Pink as a base color, and the rest you just add a little bit to the colors to mix the right color. Okay, so while I had to really quickly charge the battery, I have played around again, and here are some more swatches. Now, what I really want to explain to you in the easiest way that I can is that, in fact, what you need to do is you need to start with a base color. Say we are going to pick the Buff Titanium as a base color. So I'm going to load my brush Oh, that's a bit too much with it. And I'm going to start here. So I'm going to add a bit of water because obviously it needs a little bit of a movement here, but I'm not going to add too much water just yet. Next thing I'm going to do is I'll try to mix up a darker skin tone in this case. So I'm going to go into this gold brown right here, and I'm going to take a good amount of it and go into here, and you can see that already that is a nice skin tone. And here we go, we have it quite milky. It's just nice. It's a nice color, and you can go as dark or as light as you want. Now, if I wanted to make it even darker, I'm going to go into Quinacridone Magenta, but be very careful with it because it's a very strong color, and you can see immediately it has taken it far into a color that is really not a skin tone. So to neutralize it, I could do a number of things. I could bring in a pink, but I'm not going to do that because it's too pink in here. I am going to, in fact, go into this Rutile Yellow, which is a milky yellow, and neutralize it that way. And you can see immediately this is resembling a skin tone. So I'm going to swatch it out for you, and you can see that is a beautiful skin tone. So again, just adding water, I'm changing the translucency of the color. So that is how I could get to a dark skin tone, but I could, if I really wanted to, bring in this brown, dark gold brown into here, and then just add a tiny little bit of that Quinacridone Magenta just to, this might be too much, just to darken it up slightly. That's it, that's right now. And we have like a more of a reddish brown right here. If I really wanted to, I could make it a little bit more opaque, a bit more kind of milky, and to do that I could go either into yellow ochre or the other one which is next to it, the what is it, Naples yellow. Let's do yellow ochre for now, and that was a little bit much, so I need to bring in the other two colors into it again. In fact, it's right here. Okay, so that will do. So let's move on to this little paper here. So now we have this color. If I went again into the brown, then I'm warming it up. If I went into this pastel pink, then I'm creating a pastel color. And that's basically all you're doing. You're just playing around and mixing the skin tones. If you wanted to go lighter, whatever color you have, you just add water and dilute it, and you will take it to a lighter color. Now, if you really wanted to strip it to the right simplicity of it, what I would recommend is actually having 3 colors. So I would recommend to have yellow ochre, which I'll just swatch here. I would recommend to have opera pink, which is really strong. So opera pink and Quinacridone Magenta, and I will show you in a minute why. So these are the 3 colors that I would recommend for a very simple and quick skin tone mixing. So I am going to show you that you can take your yellow ochre and then add a tiny little bit of opera pink, and you're immediately kind of going more into a peach. So you could do a little bit more, and let's do it like that. So you can see that you could take it into this skin tone right here. And that was really super quick and easy to create this. So just by mixing these two together and adding loads of water. Now, if I wanted the same thing, but I wanted to go for a skin that is of a darker tone, I'm going to go back into Yellow Ochre. And this time I'm going to go into Quinacridone Magenta. And be very careful with it because it is very strong. And I'm just going to mix this color and we get this skin tone, which you could get even to a darker color if you wanted to play with it and neutralize it. So you add a little bit of both colors, just keep on building it up like that, and preferably do it onto a palette, and then you have a darker skin tone. And if you wanted to add a little bit of kind of brightness to it, you just add that pink. So very easy to create dark and light skin tones. If you play around, I promise you can get even darker skin tones than this. And yeah, so you just really need 3 colors for a very quick and basic skin tone mixing. And then if you do want to widen it and play around with opacities and different colors, which is super fun, then I recommend these what are they, actually 8 colors. So I'm going to list them down below in the description, and I hope you have enjoyed this little play with skin tones. And that is it for today. Thanks for watching and see you soon.